So hello everybody, we're gonna get going here in just a second. So timer is gonna start as soon as I hit this run alias here. So timer will be going in 3, 2, 1, go. All right, so here we go. The timer on the left didn't start, but that's okay.
I don't hear anything.
Yeah, game audio is not on at the moment, so we might need a reset, but I'm gonna keep going anyway. Anyway, hello, this is Half-Life. So starting off the run, we have a lot of movement going on. Our movement in this game is gonna be bunny hopping. I didn't hit the button, excellent. So we're gonna be bunny hopping by jumping, strafing in the air in order to build up speed and jumping as soon as we land in order to preserve our momentum. In doing so, we can build up really high amounts of speed, which is going to allow us to get through the game extremely quickly. I need to do this. There we go. Sorry about that. Continuing onward, we're going to be going through AM. So this is the first chapter of the run. It's fairly slow. There's not much going on, and most of it is going to be waiting for NPCs to do things like open doors or just waiting for events to play out. So there's not going to be much interesting stuff going on here. So entering into this map now. Going to be pushing these dudes into this door. Pushing this dude into this door is going to allow us to skip this section. If he decides to open the door for us, which he did not. There we go. Now he's going to walk through the door. So that's a bit slow, but that's okay. Sometimes he just will not walk far enough if you push him in the wrong way, but that's okay. So now we're going to make our way into the next map. This is the longest map on the run because we are waiting for 2.5 minutes. So get comfy, pull out the popcorn, go get some water, take a bathroom break if you need it. Because we're just going to be pushing these dudes. They're talking, but I can't hear them. I don't know if you guys can. They're saying some stuff about how we're doing science. And I'm going to quickly do... there we go. So, if you haven't noticed already, I changed my FPS in this game sometimes. This game has a FPS-based physics engine, so when we change our frame rate, the physics of the game changes as well. This will make it so that we can do certain things differently, like we can take less fall damage, NPCs will turn faster, all the like. So, you know, these guys are going to open up the way for us to get in, but we're still not done waiting. We're in a very orange room now, and we're going to wait a little bit longer in order to hit this button to move on and hopefully get to the next chapter before we all fall asleep. So, normally I would listen for an audio cue here, but I don't exactly have that liberty right now, so I'm just going to hit E. I currently do not hear any game sounds, so yes. So I'm just going to be tapping E, and there we go. We hit the button, and now we're going to wait even longer. So now what we have to wait for is we have to wait for a cart to come up here, which will allow us to throw it into the center here, allowing us to get to the next chapter of the run. I think I'm starting to hear game audio, but if you could turn it up a bit more. I don't know if it's audible on the stream, but I can't hear it in my headset. Anyway. We're just going to be waiting for this cart to come up so we can get comfy here. Crack our knuckles a little bit, stretch out the hands. Make sure you do hand stretches. Don't want to get carpal tunnel. You got to be a big gamer all the time. How you guys doing on the couch back there? Having fun?
We're doing great. We can't actually hear you, so we don't know what to say.
Oh, hi.
Yeah.
You guys want to introduce yourselves then?
I'm Connor.
I'm Wayzone. Help me.
He's helped me.
He's helped me. Anyway, this is when we actually start the run, once this cart comes up. all this waiting is going to lead to some real fun times, so don't worry. So we're going to push this cart in a particular position, and we're going to hope that we can figure out where the right spot is, because I don't have the right texture mode on, which is fantastic. So this is not it. A little bit more to the left and forward. Oh. Nope. This is not the ideal setup because my texture mode is not correct. Okay. That is not changing the texture mode, which is excellent. All right. I guess I will throw it in normally. And we will do the old strat, because I had some technical difficulties before this, but that's okay. We got this.
Well, this is a classic speedrun right here.
Yeah, this is how it runs normally go.
2016.
This is how it runs normally go. This is, so unfortunately I couldn't do test chamber skip, which is a strat we did 2 years ago. So instead we're going to be doing Vortigaunt jump, which is a strat we did a long time ago. So what we do is we get the Vortigaunt onto, in the air, stuck there, and we just wait on top of this light. So we're just going to chill up here for a bit, and normally I'd wait for an audio cue, but we can also watch for some sparkles that appear. It's going to be really pretty. So this strat wastes about a minute compared to what I was trying to do before, but I couldn't do it because of bad settings, unfortunately. But we will be able to do this. I went a little bit too early. So now let's go. So now we're going to jump in a way, which I haven't done this in forever, so we're going to jump in a way that we will land on top of the Vortigaunt, and he'll boost us into this window, which will allow us to skip the first part of Unforeseen Consequences. So we're just going to chill here for a bit. He's going to try to attack us, but we're just going to save load the game to cancel his animation over and over again, which will allow us to get into this room and move on with our lives. Good start so far, right, guys?
Good start.
Anyway, this is where the real run begins. This is where the gaming starts. So we're going to start by hopping around and making our way through the world, hitting some walls every so often, because you can't play perfectly every day. So getting our trusty crowbar here, we're going to use it to break through some glass in order to make our way to the meat and potatoes of the game. This is Unforeseen Consequences. This chapter introduces a very big part of Half-Life's movement, which is the flow that the game requires in movement. Whenever you're moving in Half-Life, you have to really keep in mind that you need to get through all these kind of nooks and crannies without hitting walls. Unfortunately, we did not do that there. But really, the skill ceiling in the movement in this game just comes from being able to not only be very precise with where you're going without hitting any walls or anything, but also doing it incredibly quickly, building up a lot of B-hop speed. Unforeseen Consequences is one of the more liked chapters in the game, just because it's a lot of pure, real fun movement. Here we're going to be doing a strat called an object boost, which is going to allow us to get across a big gap coming up right here. So how an object boost works is that Gordon is really strong, he's got Hulk arms, and he can throw objects really far. And when he throws objects really far, the object throws him really far, because that's how Newton's law works, if you've ever heard of the science man. And Gordon's a science man, so they're very closely related. Anyway, it allows us to get over a gap like that. So now we're in Office Complex. Making our way through Office Complex, we're going to be introducing a new strat later on called a NPC abuse. And an NPC abuse is one of the more tricky strats in the game, and one of the strats that can often lead to some bad times if the NPCs don't want to treat you well. Let's try that one more time. There we go. So we're going to make our way up here. Another thing to mention is that if you strafe into walls, you will be able to get a wall boost, which will allow you to walk a little bit faster than if you just held W. For reference, the number at the bottom of the screen is our speed. Normal speed is 320. However, as you can see, we are going significantly higher than that. I saved here because that is not a smart thing to do. Don't worry about it, though. I'm a gamer. This is Barney. We're doing Barney skip, which allows us to skip a section, but Barney is running away like a little scaredy cat. He's figuring it out. He'll figure it out.
This is beautifully terrible.
Yeah, this is about how a Half-Life run will work. So, okay, we're gonna load some saves because Barney is an excellent human being. Let's figure out where we are. This is about as terrible as a Half-Life run can go, but I think that's the best way to show off Half-Life, is to talk about You know, all the different problems that we have with Barney. Anyway, we have a lot more HP now because technically I just loaded a save I shouldn't have loaded. But blame Barney for being a jerk and not wanting to cooperate properly. Oh, there he is again. Let's try this one more time. Maybe Barney will cooperate.
Sometimes AI manip just kind of sucks.
Yeah. Barney skip is a pretty big hurdle when it comes to getting runs going in this game. It's very often that people will find themselves resetting on this trick a lot. Just because Barney does this thing where he likes to run in the wrong way. He didn't do it this time. I want you guys to clap on the couch right now. So, because Barney, we were able to skip him, and that's really all that matters. I don't know if you guys clap, but if you didn't, I appreciate you anyway. Anyway, we're moving on to do another AI abuse. This one is going to be able to skip the entire chapter of We Got Hostiles. So what we're going to do is we're going to shoot this guy to make him scared of us, and we're then going to cook a grenade and throw it at this door, and then we're going to, whoop, we did not do it fast enough. Let's do this again. Yeah. All right. I didn't do it right. This is a beautiful disaster. I'm not gonna let the scientists do this. I'm just gonna do it the slightly slower way of letting them open the door. The much cooler way I almost did before, but unfortunately the scientist is not wanting to cooperate today. But we'll just move on to Blast Pit now. So this is Blast Pit. This is the hardest chapter in the game. So hopefully it'll go swimmingly and we can pick up the pace a little bit, because last 3 minutes haven't been exactly gone according to plan, but that's okay. You can't expect every run to go amazingly. So then we're going to be doing something called a grenade boost, which allows us to go really quickly by exploding and launching ourselves. So now we are making our way to the main part of the blast pit, which is the big circle room. So now we're going to get on this elevator, hit the button, and we're going to lower our FPS to 20 to ensure that we do not take any damage while going up the elevator. Because sometimes you'll just get stuck in it and you'll die, and it's really not great. All right. Going into the hardest part of Blast Pit, we're going to be doing something called the trifecta, which is going to be us trying to do 3 tricks called edge bugs. So this is the first edge bug, which we were able to get. Edge bugs are difficult tricks because you have 1 frame to basically land and then immediately slide off of a particular surface. We're going to try to do it again here. We've messed up. That's okay. This is probably the hardest one. There we go. So basically, if we are on a ledge for 2 or more frames, we will take fall damage. But if we're only on that ledge for 1 frame, we will slide right off of it and not take any fall damage. We're going to be doing 1 more right here after we turn on this electricity to make our way, there we go, through the chapter. Now what we're doing here is we are very quickly trying to turn on electricity and gasoline in order to kill a boss that is sitting in the middle of the Blast Pit chapter. So we're going to do an object boost here, and we're going to be cooking our grenade. We're going to be doing a grenade boost here, which will allow us to skip a particular level, or excuse me, skip going inside of the Blast Pit itself. Because normally in a casual playthrough, you're supposed to be going in and out of the center room in order to get to the different levels of the Blast Pit. However, if you are a bit clever with how you play the game, you can make your way through without going into the center room until you absolutely need to. Unfortunate mistake there. So we're going to be making our way through this red room in order to turn on some gasoline. Turn these 2 on, make our way up. Hopefully I hit both the buttons. If not, then we got some backup plans. Hitting that button through a wall, because you can pretty much activate anything through a wall. because they have really big hitboxes to make them easier to hit. For instance, this button, we just hit through a wall. So now the Hydra monster in the middle is going to explode in a fiery, painful death, assuming that we turn on the gas. And we're going to allow the scientist to heal us while we're waiting. So now that the scientist healed us, scientist will heal you if you have 50 or less HP. We're going to make our way down into the end of the chapter. Surprisingly, with how bad the beginning of this run went, this splash pit was quite solid. Only real mistake I made was just messing up the second edge bug a little bit. That's a shark boost, as I like to call it, by the way. Basically, if you are in water that has a forward push trigger and you duck, spam duck out of the water during a dolphin dive, it'll give you a really big boost. It's pretty epic. We're going to throw a grenade here in order to push some grenades and health kits onto the next map. And now we're going to be skipping all the power up by jumping onto girders and just kind of jumping above girders and all that good stuff. So now we have some trip mines here. We're going to be using these in just a second. Now we're on a rail. So power up, very quickly skip. On a rail is, in my opinion, the third hardest chapter. Some people may disagree. But I'm currently trying to nope. I'm currently trying to make a staircase with these trip mines. Normally I would have a crosshair on my normal setup, so it's a little bit tricky to do it on here. Nope. Place the first one, save. Let's see if this one's good. There we go. So we're gonna make our way up here and then start B-hopping to make our way to the rails part of Rails. So if you've played this game casually, you may know that during this chapter, you get on a little car and you take it with you throughout this, and a lot of the obstacles are opening up these little doorways to allow your car to... There we go. These open up those things to allow your car to move forward. However, we don't need a car, because the car moves at a measly 600 or so. It might even be less than that units per second. But we are moving way faster than that. We're cruising our way through. So now we're just going to B-hop our way through the rails. Pretty much after this point, Rails is really just about trying to avoid particular displacements in the ground that can cause you to just lose all your speed or get completely stuck. Because Half-Life 1 is a game that's 20 years old. In fact, it's turning 20 in just 2 days, so make sure to pour one out for Half-Life 1. Thank you for clapping on the couch, whoever is.
By the way, Alex.
Oh, hi.
By the way, Alex, one of us can hear you now.
Is it you?
Yes. We actually have audio.
Who's hearing me?
Me. Connor.
Hi, that's Connor Ace. He learned half of this game. After this split, he hasn't seen any of this game before.
That's not true?
It's very true. Anyway. Oh, there we go. So now we're just going to keep B-hopping our way through rails. Not really much exciting else going on. Going to B-hop past these two dudes who were supposed to surprise you. And now we're going to hope and pray that this edge bug works, because sometimes this edge bug just doesn't want to work, even though you do the setup. Okay, that one should not have worked. There we go. That one's a bit of a tricky one. And gonna get this HP. Excuse you. And we hit the button too early, so we gotta wait a little bit. There we go. And we're going to kill all the men.
Good job, Alex. Good job killing the rocket.
So now what we're doing is we're basically waiting for the rocket to go through its sequence where it takes off and does whatever the hell it does. I'm not entirely sure what it does, but it's certainly doing things. By the way, the military's here. They don't really like us because we caused aliens. That's pretty much the gist of it. It's a lot more complicated than that if you want to go on the Half-Life wiki and go read up on the game. I messed up the timing, but whatever. All right, we open the door now. So basically we have to wait for that entire rocket sequence to end before we can move on, or else the big door that we just walked through would be completely closed. But now that we're finally done with that chapter, we're moving on to Aberration. Aberration is a nice breather from Rails, although it is not the easiest chapter in of itself. There's a few tricky tricks that we gotta get through in this chapter before we can move on.
The swimming in particular is very hard.
Yeah, these leeches are very difficult to dodge. A lot of the times they'll just kind of get into your way no matter what you do. But thankfully, no leech problems today. But we still got bug RNG to go through and surface tension later on, so hopefully that'll go well. So this is the first kind of difficult part of this chapter. Trying to not hit the water there, but my B-hopping was too bad to do it, so pour one out. And here's the second kind of hard thing. We're going to try to not hit the water again. We also messed that one up. That's okay.
Those jumps are very hard, like
Yeah.
keeping your speed and stuff.
It's definitely tricky, but that object boost, that's probably the hardest one, but big gamer like me nails it first try. And now we're going to be shooting some grenades to scare Vortigons, because Vortigons have access to open doors, but Gordon cannot. Unfortunately, Gordon is probably not the brightest and not trusted to open any doors, but all the aliens, they must have stolen key cards or something. They can open all the doors for you. Do an object boost there to get our way through this hallway. Quickly save load here to reset these guys' animations and make our way up the elevator.
What?
That's not how that's supposed to go. Also, I'm going to do this.
How many keys did you forget to bind?
I just forgot 3, don't worry about it. Having your USB drive fail on you before a marathon run, very not ideal.
Shoutouts to Jared on the couch over here for
Jared definitely didn't do anything. Also, my game is lagging. That's interesting. A lot of great things going on right now. But anyway, we're healing. We got captured. The military is currently beating us up.
I see it.
Hey, Alex. Do I have a minute to read donations?
Right now you do, yes.
All right, so we got a $15 donation by Pesaving Jaj. He says, where's PM Gab, tabarnak? Also, we've got $277 from Anonymous and $40 from Ethereal, and says, sorry, but I had to. Thank you, guys.
Oh, thank you. All right, we're doing a skip here called Garbage Skip, where we are going to skip the trigger to turn on the trash compactor, and then we're just going to turn it on ourselves. And then we're going to do a precise jump here. Try to get it. Come on. It's just like my stream. Oh, there we go. Okay, so we grab the crowbar with a precise jump, and then we can quickly move on to the next chapter, Residue Processing. Now, there's a special strat we're going to be doing on this chapter. Very special one. I'm going to honor it to my main man, Jared, on the couch. This one's for you. Next strat coming up, we're going to be doing a strat called the Yellowstone. So we're going to be object boosting off of a Yellowstone in order to go faster. Honoring it for Jared because he, big fan of Yellowstone National Park. Most of the volcano. But we're going to take this Yellowstone and we're going to launch ourselves. Come on.
I wonder who found this great strat.
It's a Maxim. There we go. All right, it didn't save time, but it was still worth it. That strat is super difficult. Woo, yeah. Gaming, yeah. Okay, so that strat's super not worth it, but I can very, very barely hear you, Connor. Anyway, Residue Processing is a very interesting chapter because it has a lot of really unique movement that you see pretty much nowhere else throughout the run. In particular, these conveyor belts have really weird properties when you B-hop on them, where they make you just go ridiculously fast. So there's going to be a lot of weird movement with conveyor belts. In fact, there's going to be a part coming up where we're going to essentially be trying to skip a bunch of pistons by using the conveyor belt speed to our advantage in order to skip past all of them. So here are the conveyor belts. We have to Make our way through the center one here. And now... Okay, we didn't make it past this one, but we have a backup strat to make it past all these pretty quickly. We're gonna have to land down here. There we go. Right here, we're lowering our FPS to 4. This allows us to skip past laser triggers. For some reason, well, not for some reason. Basically, the game doesn't actually recognize a frame where you are inside the laser when you lower the FPS a bunch. So it's a very easy to just walk through a trip mine laser if you lower your FPS a bunch. There's a bunch of hound eyes here. We want to get that ammo, so we're just going to keep reloading to make sure they don't hurt us. Just going to try to make our way over here. And we're going to quickly heal off of this boy. I sure did hit that. Now bunny hopping our way through the hallways. We're going to be saying hello to some guards, causing our game to lag a little bit. That's always interesting. So, Questionable Ethics is a chapter that revolves quite heavily on, I'm not going to say it's RNG, because it's not, but remember Barney? Remember how he treated us like kings? We got a scientist here. He's not named. We're going to give him a name for the run. I think Horatio fits. So we're going to try to get Horatio to follow us past these spinning blades of death. But it's very frequent that they just kind of don't. But I'm pretty sure this guy's following me. So now that we're in this room, we're just taking a pretty short detour in order to get a particular weapon that's in this room. So we're currently duping. To dupe, you can basically just save and load the game while... You can basically just save and load the game while a enemy is in their death animation, and it will cause them to drop the ammo and stuff that they drop normally repeatedly over and over again. So you can use that to get a bunch of SMG grenades that will allow us to get through the rest of the run. Hey, don't do that. If you get too close to the scientist, he'll try to heal you. The entire point of this strat is to have less than 50 HP so that he wants to heal us, which will put him in a state where he kind of ignores danger because he wants to heal us, which will allow him to run directly over here, hopefully not die. Thankfully, the military is not very good at their job, and they just kind of run away, do their own thing. Okay, so now, if my game would stop stuttering, that'd be cool. We're going to be making our way to second hardest chapter of the game, surface tension. This is not okay. Let's try that again. Okay, yeah. All right, well, that map wasn't nice. Yeah, this is a thing that definitely happens normally.
This has totally happened before.
That sucks.
Yeah, game's just not running great. Can't do much about it, so we're just gonna play through anyway. So Surface Tension is a chapter that really abuses the Gauss rifle with how broken it is. Basically, this thing has recoil momentum, as you can see with all the different kinds of boosts that we do with it. Recoil momentum, pretty good in these kind of games. It allows you to start B-hops really quick, allows you to skip pretty big gaps. The only problem with it is that there's very little ammo for this weapon throughout the run. So, try not to take that ball damage. So there's not very much ammo for this gun throughout the run, so you have to be very conservative with the ammo. Did not get good bug RNG there, unfortunate. So normally I go for a strat called pipe to pipe here, but I want to conserve my HP, so I went for pipe to pipe anyway. So I'm just going to do the normal strat. We skip over this entire map, including the mini boss with that helicopter down there. Let's try that one more time. Oh, another game stutter. We'll get there eventually. There. Why am I taking fall damage? There we go. These game stutters are not helpful, but that's okay. We'll get there eventually.
One day the game will start running properly.
Sorry?
One day the game will start running properly.
Yeah, maybe. It is quite uncommon for the game to lag really hard like this. I've never really experienced this at home, but you know, there's a first for everything. You just kind of have to power through it.
You know, this nice PC sure can handle a game that's about to turn 20 years old in 2 days.
Let's try that one more time. So here we're going to be doing a Gauss boost to skip this entire map. Grab all this nice ammo and stuff. And we are going to, once again, use the Gauss to skip this entire map. It sets a theme here with surface tension. Hopefully the Hornets don't hit us to make our game crash, just to add insult to injury, excuse me. And now we're going to use the Gauss to boost, self-boost off of an invisible wall there to allow us to skip this entire trip mine puzzle. We lower our FPS to 4 there because, sorry about that. Because the head crab likes to jump through the laser and then blow it up, killing you, which ain't great. Grab this. So now that we have the Hornet gun, we're going to be moving our way through. Also, we did a strat there that allowed us to get double the ammo from the box, called item box duplication. Basically, we break the box twice by blowing it up and killing it with a gun on the same frame. So we're going to do a grenade boost to get up here, skipping a majority of this map. Fall down here. We're going to be charging our Gauss while shooting this cannon, which will basically allow us to get a completely free Gauss boost. And here we're going to be attempting a strat called Maxim IHD. So Maxim is the world record holder for this game, and he makes some really dumb strats. For instance, this one, which, despite how terribly everything has gone so far this run, I got the hardest strat in the game first try. So basically what you do there is you boost, and then boost above the water when you're out of bounds. And then you cause this guy to open this door for you, and this door is stuck on us, and doors on this map, for some reason, deal -1 damage. So currently it is healing us by 1 HP every single frame. So our HP is basically just rolling over. So we currently have, this is now 7 cycles. We're going to be taking, I'm going to go with 9.
Shout out to that door stuck video.
Door stuck? Shout outs to Jared, and also shout outs to door stuck. Anyway, now that we have basically infinite HP, all those problems before where we had to like worry about our HP management, all that stuff, think of the past. We could just kind of play the game. So see, I took all that fall damage there. Who even cares? This is a bit of a problem though. Come on. Let's try that one more time. Gotta be fast. Oh. It has that weird Windows bug right now where it's doing that thing. There. Oh. Did I miss? I sure did. Excellent. All right, let's try this again.
Shout out to Windows Update.
Yeah, so a really weird thing when it comes to this game is that Windows has messed with this run with Windows 10 updates, even though this game came out near 20 years ago. So on some versions of Windows 10, if I could please get the strat, some versions of Windows 10, for some reason, when you charge the Gauss rifle, you cannot preserve it through save loads, but on some versions you can. This version seems to not like to preserve it. Let's try that. I have to do this again. Jeez. Okay, so there we go. Let's hope it actually works this time. There we go. We broke the door. We made it. We're moving on. So moving on to forget about Freeman. This chapter is really going to show off how ridiculous it is to have infinite HP. Pretty much from here on out, we're just going to be using grenades and explosions and all that stuff as much as we can in order to make our way through the run. So here we're doing a strat called water skip. Really hard strat. I didn't do it very well, but we made it through, so it's okay. We're going to save load here because the Hornet gun can revert doors. So if you shoot that door with a Hornet gun after you open it, it will immediately close, but you have to save mode in order for it to work. We're going to be doing it again on this map. So we're going to grenade boost past these 2 alien grunts, pull out the Hornet gun, and attempt to reverse this door with it, which we did right there. Now we are in Lambda Core. So here we're going to walk off the edge here, and it finally worked. Let's go. There's an edge bug there where if you just walk off the ledge, it will sometimes work. You kind of need it to work, though, because if you don't make it, it takes off like 250 HP. And although I say we have infinite health, we still do have to preserve HP and make sure that we do not take too much damage throughout the run, because we want to get to the end of the game without dying. Now this map, we're going to be immediately charging up our Gauss rifle, shooting it through these alien grunts to kill both of them at once, throwing a grenade behind us to kill that alien grunt, shooting a grenade at that one to kill him, and then shooting, probably missed the scientist there, but we have a backup strat, we can just shoot him like that. And I'll run away, open the door. The game's trying to say that we failed because we killed the scientist, but we can just completely ignore that by reloading the game. And now we're going to be doing a Gauss boost to get up here, go inside the elevator, and enter into Lambda Core itself. Yes, you do.
All right, so we have a couple of donations that came in. We have a $50 anonymous donation, and they say, "Greetings from the land of Canada. My name is Nooch M, and I'm loving this episode of Speed Half-Life. I'd really like to watch this run in slow motion. Keep the speed coming. Don't forget to hit that yeet. Shoutouts to NCLHD, Shrek Runner, and Spurt."
All right. If you're enjoying the run, despite the difficulties that I've been experiencing, you should definitely go onto sourceruns.org. There's similar speedruns, all sorts of Valve games out there. And you should check out other Half-Life runners. Go on the speedrun.com leaderboard, pick out a few runners you want to watch. Heard Wayzone on the couch ran this game at some point.
A little bit.
A little bit? A little bit, okay. Excuse me, yes, there we go. Okay, so we AI abused with this security guard here in order, I don't think I've ever had to do that before. Have you ever had to do that before, Wayzone?
No. Well, maybe on like similar to like Spyro %, but that's a whole different story.
You're a legend for running Spyro %. Anyway, yeah, that AI abuse wasn't supposed to work like that. All sorts of new things are happening. But anyway, we're in Zen. This is the border world where the aliens come from. And this is also kind of, basically they came from a different world, but the Combine basically pushed them out of their world into this world, the Combine being the Half-Life 2 enemies. So this is kind of just where all of the Zen creatures live now. Anyway, moving on to the next chapter here. This is Gonarch Lair. There's not much going on. We're just fighting a mama head crab. If there are any donations, this is like pretty much the perfect time to read them off, because all we're going to be doing is just kind of waiting for the Gonarch to walk to wherever she needs to go.
This is a fine example of an auto-scroller.
Exactly. Also currently have a bug with our satchel. We just got to wait a little bit. It'll come back. There it is. So we're going to be hurting the Gonarch. She'll run over here. We'll hurt her again. Then she'll run over there. And we'll blow her up. There we go. So really the only reason we're fighting the Gonarch is because these fence grate looking things, normally you can break pretty much anything in this game that will break, but those are indestructible to everything except the Gonarch, unfortunately. So we gotta fight the Gonarch. Normally there are 3 phases of the Gonarch, but we'll be skipping that 3rd phase very shortly here. So cycle 1, shoot her again for cycle 2. She ignored cycle 2. She sucks that sometimes. Sometimes you'll shoot her and she just won't take damage. It's just kind of the Gonarch experience. Losing runs to Gonarch, very common. Just because you'll shoot her and she'll just kind of ignore it. And this is fun. Please help. Thank you. Okay. So we're going to be throwing a bunch of explosives on the ground here because the ground here has entity HP, so we can blow it up, and we can just completely skip fighting the Gonarch and move on to Interloper. Moving on to Interloper. This is the last movement chapter of the run, and then we're going to be fighting the final boss of the Gonarch, or excuse me, the Nihilanth. We've just fought the Gonarch. So we're going to be making our way through this chapter. Save loading here, which will immediately make the Goth shoot in a default direction. Moving on to the next map, where we're going to immediately cook a grenade and use this grenade to boost ourselves to the end of this map. Immediately grenade boost up here. Save load to not take any extra damage. Shoot this, start cooking a grenade in order to do a grenade boost here. I don't know what that was. That was a new strat there. Just made that one up myself. And we're going to be grenade boosting our way to skip this entire section just to get into the teleporter. 2 more maps in the run. This one, all we got to do is a simple Goth boost, and then it's time to fight a big baby. Running a little bit overestimate here, but that's okay. Gonna wait 3 seconds, throw that grenade, and start shooting through the big baby. So the Nihilanth has a really, really, really huge hitbox, so all of those Goth shots that I was firing were completely going through her. So currently I am now just kind of shooting her with all my weapons, trying to make her, or I'm not entirely sure if the Nihilanth has gender, but anyway, just kind of open it up. Finally, we can finish that. That's time. Bit of a rough run. Not exactly what I was expecting, but we take this.
I mean, it is the life of a speedrunner, isn't it?
Sometimes, especially with PC games, if you're not on your home setup, some things can just go really wrong. And unfortunately that happened tonight, but still hope that people enjoyed.
USB drives will die.
Yeah, pretty much the problem was that we have a USB drive that has my games on it. Unfortunately, did not want to function, did not want to work at all. But thankfully, we were able to save Half-Life 2, the upcoming game, with that. What was his name again? Help me, right? Your name was Help Me, right? His name was Help Me, right?
Yeah, that's his name.
Okay, so Help Me's coming up with Half-Life 2 in just a second. So thank you for watching. I apologize for the sloppy run, but I'll be back on later for Quake. So thank you for watching.
Well, thank you very much for this run of this very classic PC title. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Half-Life with AlexH0we. Let's hear it one more time from him. And that being said, we will do a quick setup for Half-Life 2, and we'll be right back.